Hello, VR enthusiasts, and welcome to Work in the Verse. In my previous video, you saw me wrestling with the idea, do I put on the headset or do I not? That's right, the Quest 3. And I'll tell you this, I couldn't wait any longer, so Rick and I actually took a look at it together. We opened it while he was in Canada and while I was here in the United States. I'm going to talk about a few different kind of moments that I experienced. My wow moments, my pain moments, my impressed moments, my not sure what I'm going to do moments, and then also a little bit about the Quest 2 versus the Quest 3. So first up, those wow moments. I have to say this, I was blown away when I first put on the headset and powered it on and saw the color pass through. The experience was overwhelmingly cool. It was not super clear, mind you, but just the fact that I could see everything in color, and then the graphics themselves were so crisp and so easy to see, it was just impressive. Moving on from there, the Guardian setup. Wow, what a cool experience. When you see your room meshed out like it was, so different from the Quest 2 where all you have to do is just manually draw it out. Here's where it got to be just mind-blowing, is that I could do it in low light. If you've looked at our previous videos, one of the complaints I've had is the issue with hand tracking in particular, and also getting that warning message, hey, it's really dark in here, you may not have a good experience. That has not happened. Well, okay, one time, and that was when it was pure dark and no lights on, and I just thought, oh, well, let's see what it shows in the notifications. Now, way back early on last year, Rick and I looked at the KKCO-BVR i2 infrared light for Quest. And somebody asked me the other day, does this work with the Quest 3? It probably does. I'm going to test it just to see if maybe I could use it for that night vision effect. But it's not necessary with the Quest 3. I'm serious here. It's pitch black and it's mapping everything out fine and it doesn't complain. And then let me say this too, when you first start up the Quest 3, it's already in that pass-through mode. When I went into full immersion, oh boy. I mean, it felt like, I don't know what it felt like. It was so incredible because it was so clear. A big difference from the Quest 2, but I think it was more from the fact that it was just right there in my face and it was just beautiful colors and it felt like I was there. So now let's move on to some of the pain moments. Rick got to experience this with me firsthand, looking through it like you are right now. Trying to figure out the head strap. Oh my gosh, I know. I should have looked at the videos that they had about it, but man, when I was trying to put it on, what a nightmare. I spent so much time and so much frustration trying to get it to fit. Now, I know. The Quest 2 has something very similar, but I got rid of the Quest 2 head strap almost immediately, and I went with the Bobovr M2. Rick and I were talking about this right away. What was my impression between the Bobovr M2 and the Quest 3 head strap? When you first put it on, it's really hard to tell. After using the Quest 3 for a while, I still haven't quite got the fit right. I have this weird tingling sensation after pulling it off, and that's more in my forehead, so I'm not sure if it's too tight, not tight enough, or the fact that I'm not using silicone, I'm using the fabric material. Don't get me wrong, it's not a big deal, but now let's talk about the other pain point with the head strap, and that's actually the glass adjuster. It does not work very easily, and I'll say this, when I first tried it, I thought I might have broken my headset, but good thing, since I had the Quest 2, I knew how that interface pops out. But it's not that great, just because it doesn't slide very easily, and it's just non-intuitive, and you feel like you have to yank and jerk and all this other stuff. Here's another pain moment I have, and that's the add-ons. Why not have package deals with price breaks? Let's put in a better head strap. Let's put in the grips for your controllers. Those kind of things that would make this experience better. This is where I would like them to think like Apple, especially the Steve Jobs era, where he said, you know, Let's make this feel premium. Even though the price may not be premium, we can still make a better effort at doing that. Let's go to some impress moments now. First time setup. Oh my gosh, they nailed it. The phone, everything on the screen. If you got a head on your headset or on your phone, both of them seem to know exactly where you were, and they picked it up and they made it go just fine. It was more like, no big deal, moving on. So hats off to them for doing that. Here's another thing. My glasses have not got stuck. My concern was that my glasses would be pulled off in the headset like it always did with the Quest 2. And my last impress moment has to be the volume. On my Quest 2 headset in particular, I always felt it was really on the low end. Now to the not sure what I'm going to do moments. The lens inserts for glasses. I don't know about this. This is the first time where I feel like I probably don't have to do it. And there's advantages to that, especially when I have to take my headset off to do something, which isn't often now because of that color pass-through, because I can make things out much easier now than I ever could in the black and white version on the Quest 2. But now I don't know if it's going to make much difference for me. Although, here's one thing that I've noticed. For me anyways, it seems since I have that adjuster further out, there is a little bit more light leakage around the nose than I saw in the Quest 2. The next thing is the controllers. I have to admit it, I actually miss the rings. No, not for the banging of the controllers against one another or against my headset, but the fact that when I try to put my hand through the straps, there's nothing to hold on to very easily. And so because of that, I can't get that right feel yet. And so therefore, the controllers always feel a little loose to me, like I might just have them fling out of my hands. This is where I wish Meta would have included the grips. What a difference that would make, and it really wouldn't have to be that much money. And then the face silicone. I'm just not sure if I'm going to invest in that, but I feel like every time I share my headset with somebody else, it would be a lot easier to clean than that fabric material. So you might be wondering, how much are the graphics better in Quest 3 versus Quest 2? This one's kind of on the fence right now. Most Quest 2 titles that will run on the Quest 3 obviously haven't been adapted yet for that better resolution. I can say, however, in one title in particular, First Person Tennis, the Real Tennis Simulator, it does look better on Quest 3. The challenge that I had in Quest 2 is that often it was easy to lose the ball just because of the graphics in the background when the ball was coming towards me. With Quest 3, it is much better, but not significantly better yet. I'm hoping the developer will have the time and energy to invest in better graphics, because it will make the game so much better than it is today. Looking here on the screen now, you can see the Quest 2 experience versus the Quest 3 when you're in that home space. I noticed while being in the headset is that the graphics are much clearer in the Quest 3, and they also do a lot more with motion. You can see the different things moving, like the fireworks, for example, and that really grabbed my attention. So, here we are with that important question. The Quest 2 versus the Quest 3. Is it worth the investment? I'm going to use the lawyer answer. It depends. It really depends on you. If you're the type of person who loves the Quest 2 and you're thinking, hey, this is good enough for me, I don't get in it very often, you can probably stay with the Quest 2 a little bit longer. Rumor is right now that there's going to be a Quest 3 Lite out. They're going to do something similar to the Quest 2 where they drop the low end, which is the 128 gigabyte version, and replace it with the 256 gigabyte version for the same price. If you're the type of person who likes to get in on something new, knowing it's going to get better over time, then the Quest 3 is definitely worth it. After seeing how much time Meta spends in adding updates to their Quest line, I would have to say that the Quest 3 is definitely worth it. So to wrap up this video, I'll say this. If you have a Quest 2 and you're on the fence, you can wait for a few more months. In fact, you can wait till January because that's when Asgard 2 comes out if you want to get a free game. If you have a Quest 2 and you've been dying to get the Quest 3, you're going to like it. It's going to be that kind of experience. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope it gave you some insights into the Quest 3 and why it might be a good headset for you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that way you'll be notified when we have more content coming out. Until then, keep working the verse.